Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I wanted to do something to thank you all for 50 plus subscribers. That's why today I'm going to be showing you the origins of my OCs, plus some old art of them. Anyway, let's get into it. For the first OC, I figured I would tell you about Mio, who is my current profile picture, and I've also made a speed paint of a drawing of her. So, Mio was created many years ago for a story I was writing, except her name wasn't Mio, she didn't have white hair, and was only 12 years old. How did she start out like this and end up like this? Okay, so the story I was writing was called Braver Than I Thought and was about a young girl named Kelsa, who was often made fun of for being afraid of everything. But then, one day, her parents get kidnapped by a villain named... My younger self really didn't know how to name villains. Destructon. And he mind controlled her parents, who were building a huge robot. Then, a puppy named Blossom shows up, who is secretly her dog, Goldie, saying she is one of the 6 puppy sisters, and lets Kelsa transform into a magical girl. Then, Kelsa defeats Destructon, and then learns she can be brave. I promise that was all necessary to explain. So the name Kelsa meant brave, and that's why I named her that. I plan to write out stories for all the other 5 puppy sisters, and these were the designs I made. I had wanted to make a whole story into a manga, but then I changed all their names, including Kelsa. She was then renamed to Mio Hanabria because that name meant cherry blossoms. I started drawing the manga, and you can see some pages here. The story was changed now with the evil black rain that causes people to become evil. I'm not completely sure when this picture was made, but here you can see Mio holding a cherry blossom umbrella, which is what inspired this new picture. Anyway, I soon changed my mind yet again. I wanted her to be more around the age of 14 or 15, and have white hair with a streak of pink on the left, and a streak of turquoise on the right. Finally, this is the current Mio design. I drew the manga again, although I didn't finish it. I then was going to write out it all over again, abandoning the magical girl concept and a whole new main story. The new one being a story about Mio moving to a new town and writing a happiness diary, meeting new people, which is just actually all the other old OCs redesigned, and just learning more about all the people around her. I only drew a page or 2 of this, here's only one I could find. And so, Mio went from being Kelsa to the girl she is now, hardly seeming anything like the old her. Although, I did make a reference to her older self, as her hair is dyed, and her natural hair color is brown, just like the old one was. And that's Mio's origins! Next, I'd like to talk about another OC, Asano Ayami. So, she was created for a game that I was making about 2 years ago, and she was going to be the healer. However, this was how her first design looked. It looks so strange. I really don't like the whole way that the outfit went together. At the time, I guess I thought it looked good, but looking at it now, there's pretty much nothing I like about it except her hair color and eye color and a bit of the color scheme. But some of the colors seem really off. So Asana's story and role as a healer haven't actually changed. The only part that really has changed is her design. It was a little too much, so I changed her to look more innocent and added some ribbons to make her look more girly and cute. Her wings were at first just an accessory, but I have since changed them to actual part of her body, as I made it that in her world, if a girl is born with magical powers, she will grow wings of a bird. Asana's wings are that of a dove's, although many would say that based on her personality, they are actually angel wings. I changed them to dove's wings because in the story, which I called Reminiscence of Dawn, big giant fake wings don't make much sense. I also changed her last name, although I didn't really mean to. See, I had given her a last name, but then lost the paper I wrote the name on. I then finally found it. Her name in the first design I did was Asano Kazama. I was changed it again to Asano Kazana, and then finally to what it is now, Asano Ayami. It was fun having a character with the first letter of her last and first name being the same letter. I don't do that often, but Asana is a special case. She's also really my only OC with wings that I still have, which you'll hear more about the other later. But anyway, I really like her, and I'm really glad that I created her and didn't scrap her design even after the old one wasn't the best. Now, I'd like to talk about all the other Reminiscence of Dawn characters, moving on to the other main female character, Sayaka Iwata. So this is an old drawing of her. Sayaka used to have armor as her outfit, but her outfit isn't really what I want to talk about. I'd rather talk about this. This interesting hairstyle. So as you can see, it's a braid that is sort of twisted or something over her eye. As bad as this hairstyle is, I really liked it when I made it and wrote an entire part of her backstory around it. Sayaka's story in the game is that she's a sword fighter who lost her entire family and her crush in a village fire. For the part about I wrote of the hairstyle, the story was that she had put a small section of her hair in a braid, but before she could finish, the wind picked up and blew her hair in front of her eye. Her crush, named Keigo, said it looked cute on her, so she decided that she'd always wear it that way for him. However, he must have needed glasses, cause... Anyway, her design changed to this, and finally, this is her current design. There are still 2 more reminiscent of Dawn characters, both males. I'll talk about Shiro Kitagawa first. So, this is his first design, and here is the first digital drawing I did of him. I was often really proud of drawings I did of him, like this one. Not much in his design has honestly changed much, other than his ninja mask, as he is a ninja in the game. It used to look like this, however, after a while, I didn't really like it. But then, I discovered the manga Snow White with Red Hair. I also discovered this character, Obi. I really like the style of a mask where it's like a scarf, but you could pull it up to look like this. I did this drawing soon after seeing it, and it was clearly quite inspired by him. I did end up liking it though, and changed him to look more like this. And that's about it for his design. And now, for the final male character in Reminiscent of Dawn, Kosuke Hano. So, this is his first design. It looks a lot like Zen, the main character, once again, from Snow White with the Red Hair. He was really only designed to be a companion for Asano, and one day, her boyfriend. Sayaka and Shiro are also dating, but anyway, I changed Kosuke's design to look like this. He hasn't been around that long, but that's because he was actually a replacement for another OC. So, at this point in the video, you most likely thought I take good care of all my OCs, like they are all my children, taking care of them and helping them grow. However, there was one child I left behind, Yasu. Let me begin to explain how it all came to be. As I showed with all the others, this was the first drawing I ever did of Yasu, and here's the first digital one. His story was that him and his best friend, Satomi, were attacked one day. Although he was a shielder and promised to protect her, he didn't manage it, and she got hurt. She told him that she hated him afterwards, so he ran away. My sister never liked him, and always asked if I could replace him. I finally did add a new character, who is Kosuke. At first, he didn't really replace him, but in the end, I decided to write Yasu out and replace him with Kosuke. Sorry, Yasu, but it was for the best that we parted. I'll quickly show you some old drawings of my other OCs and the original designs, although they haven't really changed since then. This is my first drawing of Kikyo Wakari, and an even older drawing, and even this little animation. Hanako, who I designed on the first day of spring 1 year ago. Marilyn, who was actually created doing an Objects as Humans challenge. And so, I guess she started out as a quilt. And now, for my last OC, Willow! So, I made Willow at first for my friend, this being the drawing I first did of her. You see, my friend was making a story, and asked if me and my sister wanted to make some characters for it. We both agreed to do it for him as a present, and so we got started. One day, I quickly designed this girl, who would soon become Willow. Designed as a part sheep girl, I figured it would fit his story perfectly, as it was a fantasy, and he had many types of fictional species, such as elves. He had sent me and my sister some name ideas before we had created them, and I had tried to design her to fit one of the names, Willow. However, even though my friend was really happy about her design and liked her, I started to wonder if it would have been better if I had never given her away at all. Every time I saw her, I liked her design a bit more. The balance of colors, the fact that she was part sheep, and that I felt she could fit in with the story with Marilyn. I had already given her to my friend though. I couldn't just take her back, as he owned her now. A little while later, he contacted me about his story. It turned out that he didn't know where to put her in the story. Even though he had loved her design and had lots of different species in his story, it turned out that part sheep wasn't one of them. He was debating putting her as in a mushroom forest. He wasn't really sure what her role would be there. I decided to create a new OC for him, Idalia, who could replace Willow in his story. And she would be my OC again. He was really excited about Idalia. He had a part dragon species in his game, which she is, and he was already imagining places to put her in the story. He gladly returned Willow for Idalia, and so Willow was returned. I'm happy I decided to switch them out, especially because he didn't even know where to put Willow. I guess the moral of the story is that I shouldn't give away OC designs without really thinking about it, because I get attached to them way too easy. And with that, the story is finished. The origins of all my OCs, at least most of them. There are some OCs that I haven't really designed. But anyway, thanks so much for watching. I hope you all enjoy learning more about my OCs, and again, thanks so much for 50 plus subscribers. If you liked this video, please consider liking and subscribing, and bye for now!